All right, everybody, welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show and the pregame show of your Sachse Mustangs as they're taking on the Naaman Forest Rangers here on the pregame show. And the pregame show, of course, being brought to you by the Bullet Experience. Make sure you check out the Bullet Experience for all your needs as far as training, getting ready to play the sport that you want to play, whether it's football, basketball, volleyball, soccer, whatever the case may be. Make sure you get on over to 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. Check out Melvin Bullet and the Bullet Experience for all of those needs, and you will be glad that you stopped on by. Not only that, a beautiful facility. My goodness, if they gave me a room in there, I'd never leave. but that's a different story. But welcome into the pregame show. I get told that I'm excited a lot, and it is. It's football, and every type of football, whether it be football on the high school level, college level, as well as the professional level, and even indoor football. Believe me, guys, I am a fan. Okay, if you cannot tell, I'm a fan of it, all kinds of football, whatever the case may be. And we were lucky enough to be able to bring you the Sachse Mustangs this year. So we are doing that. And, not only that, great response from people in the Sachse area. Great response from some of the fans as far as the Sachse Mustangs are concerned. Never mind the head coach and getting all the support that we need in order for us to do what we try to do each and every week. We want to thank the head coach of the Sachse Mustang. Of course, that's head coach Mark Red Barons for his help, as well as J.P. Phillips. And I can't say any more about J.P., what he has done to help us do that, whether it's the sideline reporting coming up in halftime and helping us through that as well. He is a big part of our broadcast, and hopefully we'll be able to keep him next year, even though his son is moving on. So I'm kind of hoping that we'll still have JP around helping us do what we do. If not, of course, we'll figure all that stuff around, when it comes time to get it done. So it is the pregame show. It is the Sachse Mustangs, and the Sachse Mustangs, you can say whatever you want about this season. It has been a rough one, and there's been a lot of work that it's taken to get where they are. And unfortunately, they're not very far. And that's what they're going to try to improve on tonight. Mark that tonight if you're watching that on the pregame show right before the game, or Thursday, which is today, and you can check that out. But a lot of stuff for this team. There's still a lot of work to be done. And a lot of people have given up hope. We have not. I see the progression of this football team. And sometimes you got to go through some of those lulls in order to get out to where you want to be. And this happens to be one of those lulls. But at the same time, this football team has shown more heart than I've seen a lot. Some teams just lay down and just go to bed. This team doesn't. They show up week in and week out, and that is what we expect from a Mark Red Barons football team. So that being said, let's talk a little bit here in the pregame show about the Sachse Mustangs. Let's talk about the standings as far as the 9-6A is concerned. And guys, remember, it's all about district play. It's all about that record. Overall, it's a good record, but still, that's what they figure out, who's going to make the playoffs and not. So let's start at top as the Garland Owls. They're 3-0 in district, 4-1 for the season. And boy, they like their home field, don't they? 3-0 on the home field, and they lost one out of district. So they are right now on a 4-game winning streak right now, as they lost week number 1. So interestingly enough, they're looking pretty good. Wiley East, the team that the Sachse Mustangs played last week, they're 2-0 in district. The second one, obviously, was the Sachse Mustangs. For the season, they're undefeated. They're 4-0. They love their home. They love the road. Don't matter. They're on a 4-game winning streak right now. The Wiley East Pirates in district, they are 2-0. They are 3-1 overall, and at home. They like home. It's 2-0 at home, and they're 1-1 on the road, and they've won 2 games in a row. The Lakeview Centennial Patriots, they are 2-1 within district, 3-2 overall. Their home record's 1-1. The road record is 2-1. They've won that last game. They were out there. Now, the team that the Sachse Mustangs are playing here tonight are 1-1. That is the Naaman Forest Rangers. They are 1-3 over overall on the season. They're 1-1 at home and 0-2 out on the road. And they lost their last time they were out, just like the Sachse Mustangs. But the Garland Naaman Forest Rangers are at home at Williams Stadium, so make sure you check that out. So they are 1-1 on the season. The North Garland Raiders, they are 1-2 out on the season, 2-3 overall, 1-1 at home, 1-2 on the road. They lost last week. So that's where the Raiders are now. And then it's the Sachse Mustangs. Sachse Mustangs 1-2 on the season, 1-4 overall. At home, they have not been able to win out on the road. They won their home. They won at Homer B. Johnson Stadium, but they were actually the visitor against the Rowlett Eagles. Next in line are the 0-3 South Garland Titans. They are 0-3 on the season in district, 1-4 overall, 1-2 at home, 0-2 on the road. They've lost their last four out. The last four times they were out. Then the Rowlett Eagles, they are 0-3 within district, 0-5 in as far as the season is concerned, 0-2 at home, 0-3 on the road, and unfortunately, they have not been able to get the victory at all out on the football field right now. So that being said, they got some work to do in order to get them to where they need to be so they can be set and ready to go. And I actually had the wrong paper up, so we'll get that straight. I'll do a quick edit on this, but that's what you're looking at as far as the standings are concerned. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. Catch us on Sunday morning and you can hear us talk about the NFL. But tonight it is all about the Sachse Mustangs. So that being said, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the team that they're facing, that being the Naaman Forest Rangers, when we come back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show and your Sachse Mustangs Radio Network. We'll be right back. At the Jerry Bullet Training Center, we are a motivated team of coaches with the mindset of helping you achieve and reach your highest goals. Having developed and trained over 100 Division I athletes as well as Division II athletes, even professional athletes, the Bullet team definitely has the knowledge and mindset to take you to the next level. Check out our new 22,000 square foot facility and 3,000 square foot weight room, along with 4,500 square feet of outdoor turf and covered training area, along with football and soccer fields. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. The prospect of retirement can be exciting and scary at the same time. At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement fail to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. What is it? How does it work? It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. Because these decisions are so important, my firm has assembled an informational packet on Social Security. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com. At Wesson General Contracting Incorporated, we're your one-stop shop for all your general contracting needs. We are locally owned and with over 20 years of experience, so roofing, gutters, sidings, fence staining, painting, foundation problems, or roof damage are no problems at all. Give us a call at 214-200-5588. That's 214-200-5588. Wesson General Contractors. And welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here on the pregame show. Again, the pregame show obviously being brought to you by none other than the Bullet Experience. So make sure you check them out. Tonight, the Sachse Mustangs, they are taking on the Naaman Forest Rangers, coming to you live from Williams Stadium. It's going to be the first time that we've been over at Williams Stadium this year. This is going to be the first time we're actually calling a game from the booth. So I'm really excited about that. We've never been over there to call one of the games. So we're excited about that, and we'll be able to see everything fairly good, although we will miss the fact that we won't be right there in the stands in the shack to be able to bring you the coverage of the Sachse Mustangs this season from Williams Stadium. So, but we'll be hearing you from the other side of the actual stadium. So that being said, it is the Naaman Forest Rangers. We talked about their record and where they are, but let's go over what has happened. Their first game, they took on Louisville, and Louisville did beat them 28-6. Then their second game, this is their out-of-district second game. They lost by 7, 47-40, and then they came into district play. Their first opponent was the Rowlett Eagles, and the Eagles lost to the Naaman Forest Rangers by 11. When it was 33-22. And then Wiley East, last time they hit the field again, it was against Wiley East, the team that we faced last week, as the Naaman Forest Rangers were also on the bye last week. So just to keep that in mind. And Wiley East beat Naaman Forest 36-22. So you see where they are. You see what the situation is. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see from these Naaman Forest Rangers as they pull in and are at home. So let's talk about the football team. This is a football team that loves to rush the football. So when I say that, I want you to have an understanding, as if I see it, I know Sachse Mustangs and the defense sees what's coming their way. But let's start with the quarterback. It is Perales. Perales is 64 of 105. He is completing 61% of his passes. He's passed for 841 yards and 9 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. So that is huge for them as far as the quarterback position is concerned. They do spread the ball around. We'll talk about that in a moment. But back to the rushing game. The rushing game is a very important part of their game plan when they go in and week out. So let's start with the guy that's handled the ball the most of the time. How about 81 times for 440 yards and 3 touchdowns? That's Isaiah Cunning. He is averaging about 5.4 yards per attempt. After that, it's Evan Garcia. He's rushed the ball 19 times for 60 yards. He's averaging about 3 yards a carry, and he's got a touchdown as well. D'Angelo Perlis, he is 23 attempts for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the quarterback can run the football. You got to watch out for that and mark that. He's averaging 2 yards a carry, and he's got 1 touchdown. Muis, he has rushed the ball 6 times, 28 yards. He's averaging about 4.6 yards. Isaiah Wesley, 9 rushes, 25 yards. He's averaging 2.7. And then Michael Wright, 6 rushes, 8 yards, averaging 1.3. And then you got some guys who've handled the ball 1 time. That's Pregame. He's rushed the ball 1 time for 6 yards. And then Barnes, 1 time for 3 yards. So that's what you're getting. You see a big-time rushing attack heading the way of the Sachse Mustangs. But again, the passing game is part of the game. Dylan Turner, as far as wide receivers are concerned, 19 catches, 305 yards. He's averaging about 16 yards a catch. He's got a touchdown. Jason Flores, 18 catches, 272 yards. He's averaging about 15 yards a catch, and he's got 5 touchdowns. Hayden Denton, 14 catches, 103 yards, averaging 7.3 yards a catch. He's got 2 touchdowns. And then Ivan Garcia, 6 catches, 79 yards, averaging about 13 yards a carry. And then Marcus Davis, a catch for 42 yards, as well as Trey Jones has a catch for 23. And then Soto with a catch for 21 yards, and Isaiah Wesley, 2 catches, 15 yards. And then Dominique Hall 1 catch, 10 yards, and then 2 catch for 3 yards for Jordan Johnson. So that's what you're getting when you are looking at the Sachse Mustang, or mark that, the Naaman Forest Rangers as they come in tonight. We're going to see a pretty good mix, and whatever works is probably what we'll see a lot of, and you can really kind of expect this football team to come out rushing the football. So you'll be looking at that, and so will the defense of the Sachse Mustangs as they get ready for this one here tonight. So watch out for the running game. If it doesn't work, there's no problem with the passing game as far as the Rangers are concerned. So we'll take a look at that. Now, with that being said, we looked at the Naaman Forest Rangers. What we're going to do, take a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and when we come back, we'll bring the Sachse Mustangs stats. We'll take a look at that, and after that, we'll bring in the Eagle Eye Bill Serna. We'll talk about the Sachse Mustangs and the Naaman Forest Rangers, as well as his overall look at what he sees as for Friday night's game against the Rangers. So we'll take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show and your Sachse Mustangs Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costo Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance and save a ton. Costo Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on. Yeah, but is it fresh?
There's nothing that beats good home-cooked barbecue. Since 1941, Dickey's Barbecue has done all the cooking and you take all the credit. Come see us today at our Rowlett location, 5701 President George Bush Turnpike, Suite 110 in the Target Shopping Center. Whether you want to eat in or take it home, we will fix you up. For lip-smacking, rib-tickling, knee-slapping, foot-stomping, great-tasting barbecue, come see us at Dickey's Barbecue today.
Sachse Ice House is a non-smoking craft beer and beer pub located in the heart of Sachse. The Ice House was opened to provide a friendly, clean, and female-friendly environment. Sachse was lacking a place for service industry, date nights, and girls' nights, as well as happy hours. Excellent service and top-notch food are our priority. On Tuesday, we offer 79-cent wings, as well as half-price burgers on Mondays. So check us out at the Ice House, located at 6501 Highway 78 in Sachse, or give us a call at 469-304-1550, or check us out on the web at SachseIcehouse.com. Go Mustangs! And welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. Me, Sonny Clark, and the next segment we'll be bringing in the Eagle Eye Bill Serna as we are getting set for the game here this week, as we are going to hit Williams Stadium for the first time. I'm actually kind of excited about that. Calling that game from the booth will be really interesting, so we'll be looking out for that as well. So what has happened with the Sachse Mustangs? We already know about the standings, where they are. They've got one victory out on the season, but they started out with Coppell. And Coppell, they hung around with Coppell for a little while, but they actually stretched their legs and got the victory 56-27. Then they met Prosper. And you want to talk about a game where they held on their own. They unfortunately could not get started in that one, as the Prosper Eagles got the victory 51-14. Then they went into district play, and a game they kind of let get away from them, as they lost the game in overtime to the Lakeview Centennial Patriots. They lost that game 34-28, as the Patriots scored a touchdown in overtime to get that victory there. Then the Sachse Mustangs that finally get up on the board, get their victory against their rival. So there's something good to be said about that. They got the victory against their rival, as they won that game 48-41. Then last week, as the Wiley East, they started coming on. They got a big victory against the Sachse Mustangs last week, 45-17. And they were pretty much in control that whole game, as they dominated the line of scrimmage and got in the backfield a lot, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback as far as George is concerned. So that's where they're at as far as that is concerned, though. So they got Naaman Forest after that. Then they are on the bye. So next week we're on the bye, and this is a good time to get a bye because they are going to face a pretty good team as far as the Garland Owls are concerned. Then after that, they will be taking on South Garland as far as that is concerned. And that game, the Sachse Mustangs, that game is at Homer B. Johnson Stadium. But that being said, they will be the visiting team on that one. Then Wiley, the Wiley Pirates will be taking on the Sachse Mustangs on looks like the October 28th, and that game is over at Homer B. Johnson Stadium as well. And then the last two games, or the last game, November 4th, will be at Williams Stadium. They'll be taking on the North Garland Raiders. So that's where they are. But let's take a look at the stats for the Sachse Mustangs as we move on and get ready to go. Here in the pregame show, before we bring in the Eagle Eye, let's talk about the passing game. And Brendan George has been handling the quarterback duties for this football team for a while, as he is 37-68. He's completing 54% of his passes. He's passed for 470 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But as of last week and the week before that against the Rowlett Eagles, Brendan George has been showing up as far as his passing is concerned, and we can go back and, if you get the opportunity, take a look at some of the stats in those two games. You see where he's really stepped up and has kind of taken over this football team at the quarterback position. That being said, Grayson King, he is 6 of 30. He's got 68 yards and unfortunately 4 interceptions. Victor Jesus Gutierrez, he's 4 of 10. He's completing 40% of his passes for 97 yards. He's got a touchdown as well as an interception. But really, when you talk about keys to the game, we talk about where the Sachse Mustangs are going to go. Well, Popacana is a guy that has really set himself a step ahead of everybody as far as his performance out on the football field. He is 60 for 588 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. Let me just repeat that. Averaging 10 yards a carry, that is incredible. And if you also look at it, he's got 6 touchdowns out on the season. Now, R.C. Reeves, he was hurt, and we don't know what his status is for this game, but he's rushed the ball 45 times for 232 yards. He's averaging about 5.1 yards a carry, and he has 4 touchdowns. Grayson King, who's joined in, and he's been doing some running as well. He is 27 rushes for 113 yards, averaging 4.1. He's got 2 touchdowns. Brendan George, 27 rushes, 109 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry and a touchdown. And we've seen him in some plays that are assigned to him to run the football. So watch out for that. Harris, big guy. I love this guy. 12 rushes, 93 yards. He's averaging about 7.7 yards a carry. And this guy reminds me of the bus. I mean, that's how big he is. He's got big old shoulders, big old legs. And even at one point, he just tired himself out. He cut off a big one, and he just took off for the races and just ran out of gas. He could hardly get back up. But good to see him out there. Brentwood Haygood, 2 rushes, 12 yards, and Cortland Stott, a couple rush for 3 yards, and Norberg has a rush as well. Now, the receiving end of it, Cortland Scott, 17 receptions, 244 yards a catch. He is averaging 14.3 yards a catch with 3 touchdowns. Then you look at Kaliki Lockett, 11 receptions, 143 yards and 13 yards carry. He's got 13 yards a catch. He's got 2 touchdowns. Jack Creel, 6 catches, 66 yards, averaging 11 yards. Look at Hanks. He came in big time last week. He has caught 5 catches for 61 yards for 12.2 yards. Austin Phillip, 4 catches, 58 yards, averaging 14.5. Robbie Rothrick with 2 catches, 52 yards, averaging 26 yards. He also has a touchdown. Then Jacob Claiborne with a catch for 9 yards, and R.C. Reeves out of the backfield, 1 catch for 2 yards. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're going to see when you take a look at the Sachse Mustangs and where they will be going against the Naaman Forest Rangers. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take another quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And when we come back, we're going to finish it up, and we save the best for last. It is the Eagle Eye Bill Serna when we come back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show and your Sachse Mustangs Radio Network. We'll be right back. Rich's Performance Muffler and Auto Care has provided complete auto repair services to the Wiley area since 2003. Whether it's alignments, brakes, air conditioning, muffler service, suspension, front-end auto services, or in my case, a Cadillac converter, Rich does it all. Stop by and see him at 603 Commerce Street, Suite 203 in Wiley, or give him a call at 972-461-0776. That's 972-461-0776. You'll be happy you called Rich instead of anybody else. At Fit Body Boot Camp located in Sachse, the solution is here. Fast, long-lasting weight loss results and the healthy lifestyle you need to keep them. The key to your fat loss success is our signature afterburn workouts, as well as support and motivation from our world-class coaches, and an easy-to-follow nutrition program to help you keep the fat off. Visit your local Fit Body Boot Camp in Sachse today to see the difference for yourself, or give us a call at 214-463-3005. That's 214-463-3005. Fit Body Boot Camp, Sachse. And welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the guy that's going to be with me first time in the booth at Williams Stadium. Let's bring him on in. He is the Eagle Eye Bill Serna. Good to see you, Bill.
Good to see you. First time in the real booth.
Yes.
Williams. We've always been on the visitor side. This is the first time we get to actually sit in the nice air-conditioned area.
Yep. Yeah, but still gonna miss it. I mean, because there was something about the shack. That's what we called it, the shack. And being right there and feeling everybody stomping on the thing, and we actually found the rumbling up there. There was still something about it, a little nostalgic being right there. And I was set this year. We were going to have the microphone out on top of the shack, and we just unfortunately couldn't do that. But at the booth, that'll be really interesting new way, and we'll see how that rolls with it. So that being said, it's the Sachse Mustangs. It's the pregame show, and a little rough go right here right now as far as the Sachse Mustangs are concerned.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. This is a territory that Sachse is not used to being in with all the success it's had over the years, but I just don't think Sachse is able to find its identity. I mean, you know, you have a quarterback situation where, you know, right now they're trying to lean on Brendan George, which I think is the right thing to do, but I just don't think there's a comfort zone for him yet. I think because you have Grayson King that will spend some time on there. We should have Victor Jesus Gutierrez back this week as he was out with an illness last week. So I just don't think they found their identity where they feel comfortable yet on the offensive side there.
Talk a little bit about that, because your experience as far as your coaching career, as far as indoor football and everything else, but just because you're special team doesn't mean that you don't got your nose in the middle of the offense. Talk a little bit about the comfort level. Talk about how important that is, especially at this stage of their careers. Obviously, high school, getting ready for college.
Well, and you're dealing a team that had all area athlete last year in Orgy, and he went to Michigan. So first of all, those are tough shoes to fill, as he was just so multidimensional. But you're in three guys that haven't started for Sachse. You're trying to find out who that is. At Coach Barron's start of the year, he rotated to see where he could find that groove. And, usually in the first couple of games, you seem to find that. Matter of fact, on our team with the Frisco Fighters, we went the first three games where we rotated two quarterbacks, one for the first half, one for the second half, and we found our identity. We found where we could be successful. And we're through game 5 right now, and I just don't think it's set. I think we want to push forward with Brendan and George. Right now, it's just as a team, it just hasn't felt comfortable. Now, with that being said, we've seen a little bit more on the offense than what we saw in the first couple of games. We've seen a little bit
last 2 games. Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to see it turn right now. So hopefully we're getting to where we need to be. But right now we're going into game 6, and now it's survival mode. We to win, because right now we're already down. We're 1-2 in the district. Top four teams make the playoffs, and right now we're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they're going to have to go into this game thinking that this is definitely now one game at a time. That being this one, Naaman Forest Rangers have had some success, but they've actually backed off a little bit as far as that success. A big victory here also, kind of moves them up a little bit more in the standings. So taking one game at a time is going to be really big here, especially against the Rangers.
Well, and Naaman Forest is they're 1-3, but they're probably the best 1-3 team out there. They've done really, really well. They just got done playing Wiley East a couple weeks ago, and they were pretty competitive. They pretty good against them. They lost 36-22. Obviously it was a 14-point game, but I think that game was a little bit closer. If you look at the numbers, they're a little bit closer. So they've been competitive. First game of the season, they played a Louisville team, lost 20-7. Louisville team, one of the top teams in the region or in the area. So they've played some pretty good competition. They've held up really well against some of this competition. So like I said, they're probably one of the best 1-3 teams out there. So it's not going to be a shoe-in for Sachse like it's been in previous seasons.
Well, you take a look at this one. A victory will push them to 2-1 within the district. A loss obviously pushes them to where they would be. But as far as that game is concerned, how it will take the Rangers back, so that's going to be huge. This is and not only that, when I looked at all the things that what we're going to talk about here, especially on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to see about the same team. I mean, but the difference being is how many rushers that the Rangers are going to bring compared to the Sachse Mustangs this week.
Well, and their main rusher is Isaiah Cunnings, and he's carried the ball 81 times through 4 games. That's averaging 20 carries a game for 440 yards. Obviously on our side of the ball, we have Pope Akana, which he's rushed the ball 60 times in 4 games. So he's averaging 15 yards a carry, but he's got a couple hundred yards more than what Cunning does. So they're both valuable. I think right now with the struggles that Sachse has had on the offensive side, Akana has been that much more valuable to Sachse than Cunning has been for Naaman Forest, because Naaman Forest, they've been successful through the air as well.
And you take a look at this, if that run game does not work, or even at that point, just as a time to change it up, you got Brendan George that's going to have to throw the football. We have seen some success from him for the last couple of weeks, mainly keeping the interceptions low. That is a big thing, as we saw earlier in the season with the passing game was really, first of all, non-existent. And when it was there, it was turnover city. So they kind of got that under control. So if the running game does not start working, they're going to have to lean on something. And this is a time where I think they have the opportunity to move forward with that passing game, because they've got a lot of weapons there.
Well, and you're correct. Sachse had 5 interceptions the first 2 games of the season. They've had 3 in the last 3 games, which obviously is a lot better. It's 3 more than what you want to have. But right now for this season, we've thrown more interceptions than we have for touchdown passes.
Absolutely,
so,
yes.
Like I said, we can't be giving them turnover, especially on some of these teams that have been very successful. You've got to go in there and you've got to play, not flawless game, but you got to play a smart game and eliminate the turnovers, and that hasn't happened so far this season.
Yeah, and you're right. It's about the consistency. We've been talking about it all year long, keeping the consistency going on. But what I think they really need to do, and what huge is defensively, stop this as this team coming in being the Rangers, stop that running game. That's going to be one of the biggest things that they're going to have to do moving forward into that game, because then you have to spark it and see how they're going to do with the passing game to try to beat the Sachse Mustangs. So I think the key to this game is definitely stopping the running game coming from Naaman Forest and the Rangers in order for him to get this victory. When you're looking at this, what do you think the keys to the game in order for the Mustangs to get the victory are?
Well, I mean, yeah, the defense. I mean, right now through 5 games, they're averaging giving up 45 points. Only one game under 40 points have they given up. So when it comes to Naaman Forest, you're right. You got to slow down Cunning. You know, he does get the ball quite a lot, but they've got a trio of receivers that are getting that Paralysis is getting the ball out to. That between the three of them, they have 51 receptions, and that's Dylan Turner, Jose Flores, and Hayden Denton. So
Yep.
they're getting the receptions between those three. They have 8 touchdowns. So you know what? If you do focus too much on the run game, they're going to get you in the passing game. So it's got to be an overall effort on the defense. But the one thing that we haven't seen that, and we've seen glimpses of every once in a while, is got to get pressure on the quarterback.
Absolutely.
You cannot give that quarterback time to throw the ball because you know, sooner or later, you give him too much time. Sooner or later, he's going to find open guys.
Absolutely, and a combination. I don't think you're going to stop the run, and really, to be honest, I don't think they're going to stop the pass. It's just how much they're going to give up. So, you think they're going to get theirs, but you want to maybe cut that down a little bit so they're not so successful. So you can find a way to gain the big M, the big momentum, and really, we've seen this year where they'll catch that momentum, and then all of a sudden, the momentum will drop off, and it's like a totally different team out there that we have seen. And that has been happening a couple of times so far this season.
Well, and that's just it. You know, if you can get pressure on that quarterback, and you take the opportunities, you got 3rd and long. You got to slow them down, and that's where Sachse has been hurting themselves through the year so far. Is that they're getting, you know, they might make that stop on 3rd and long, but then they're getting a penalty that they shouldn't be getting.
Yes.
You know, right now, they're averaging 9.5 penalties a game. Last week, they got another 9 for 80 yards. So, and we talked about it on air last week. A lot of them were at crucial times that really affected us. You know, it continues drives that were going on by Wiley East. Those are things you got to avoid. It's the mental mistakes that will haunt you, and you know. It puts your defense on their heels when you make a stop, but then there's a penalty that goes with it, and then all of a sudden now it's a first down.
Gonna have to throw some surprises out there this week as well. Like you said, this is a Ranger team that's much better than what their record is, and if you go in there and not really 100% ready, they could take over the game fairly quickly. So we got to watch out for that. That's going to be one thing. But I think a couple of surprises are going to have to come their way for the Sachse Mustangs in order to get the victory. So that being said, I'll throw it to you. Who do you think wins, and where do you think the big portion of the game is going to be made for them in order to get that victory?
Well, it's gonna be a tough one for Sachse to win. Right now, all the experts are picking Naaman
Yes,
Forest.
I saw that. Made me mad.
And yes, there is experts here in the area that pick a high school game, so it's going to be really tough. The key that I think for Sachse is make big plays on special teams.
Yes.
Special teams set the tone for the game, and one that I kept emphasizing last week was control the tempo, and start with special teams this week for Sachse to give them an opportunity.
So I guess I'm going to ask you, we have a bye week next week. We're on the bye. What are you planning on doing? I think I already know what you're planning on doing. You got a little one there that's probably, I don't know. What are you going to do during the bye?
I think you're right on the right path there. We are actually going to go watch her high school play.
Yep.
On Friday night. They're a brand new high school out in McKinney, and right now they're only freshmen and sophomores, and they're 5-0 in varsity.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they just popped the top 20 in the area for 5A. So I think we're going to go watch them next Friday. Hopefully, going in that game, they're 6-0 and see what they can do. But I'm really excited about the progress that team is doing. But Coach Miller, Archie Miller, from the old coach from Lakeview Centennial, is now the head coach there at Frisco Emerson, and he's come out of the gates doing a great job.
Yeah, amazing. By the way, you need to bring me a Burroughs pizza tomorrow. I don't know how that's going to happen. I know you got to work and all, but I don't think they open up before, so I think I'm out of luck as far as the Burroughs pizza is concerned. So I'm going to have to get you to pick it up. Hey, actually, we still can do it. Thursday night, grab me a Burroughs pizza. I'll pay for it. I'll send you the money. I needs me a barbecue, pineapple, and sausage pizza.
Okay.
And pick that up for me.
Am I your personal DoorDash? Is that what you're telling me?
Now you are, because I wanted to be able to get delivery, but it's 20 miles from my home, so it's a little outside the delivery area there. So
5 miles from mine.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, check out Burroughs Pizza, a shameless plug. If you're up in McKinney, it's the best pizza around. I'm sorry. They got some good pizza joints around here, but Burroughs takes it home from me, so make sure you check it out. So, my man, always good to see you. We'll check you tomorrow at Williams Stadium. By the way, gotta pick up the credentials. We got new credentials for there, so separate ones for you. So just so that you know. All right, so and we're ready to roll. Anything else before we're out of here, Big Bang?
No, I really want to see something out of Sachse that we haven't done all year, and that's really come out with a lot of enthusiasm and set the tone of this game. I think that could be a big plus.
I think it could be fantastic, and we'll hope for it. And I'm calling the win. I'm calling. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the hopefulness inside me. I'm calling for the upset. I think they actually win this game, and they put it together, and it all just comes together like. Oh. I think that's what's going to happen. It'll all just flip the switch.
And that's just it. Put it together. You know, everything together. When you see glimpses on your offense, you need glimpses on your defense. If you have glimpses. Defense, get that special teams rolling. So that's just the thing. Put it all together, but the biggest thing is minimize the mental mistakes.
Yep.
So that's going to be the key of the game for me.
Definitely. All right, so that's going to do it for us here on the pregame show. Of course, being brought to you by the Bullet Experience. Make sure you check them out over at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett, just on the outside of Waterview, where Melvin Bullet puts together a beautiful facility for whatever sport that you're trying to get better at or get more skills. So for the Eagle Eye Bill Serna and Big Red Butch Wesson, I'm Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and we're out of here. We'll see you right at 7 o'clock for the Sachse Mustangs and the Naaman Forest Rangers.